this economic and commercial union was decided by real visionaries.
Today, I have the pleasure to welcome in the studio Charles Delogne, who is the ambassador of Belgium in Luxembourg. Welcome.
Thank you, Jérôme.
It's a pleasure to have you. We're almost neighbors in Bonnevoie. So you've been active in Kiev, you've been in Angola, you've been in Congo, you've been in Brazil, you've been in Pakistan, and here you are in Luxembourg. So my first question to you is, can you describe the relationships, economic relationship, cultural relationships between Belgium and Luxembourg?
Well, first of all, Jérôme, thank you for inviting me here in your studio. As the representative of a neighbor country, this is a special relationship. I think there are not many ambassadors who can claim here in Luxembourg that their first stay in Luxembourg was 50 years ago. When I was a child, I accompanied my parents to discover the lake around the dam on the Sur river, Esch-sur-Sur. The landscapes were completely different, but then after that we came frequently back just across the country most of the time, but also for some family meetings. So we have special ties, also personal ties with Luxembourg. Mm-hmm. That makes me a rather exceptional ambassador here in Luxembourg, but I think many of my predecessors were in the same situation. Mm-hmm. And here in Luxembourg, of course, I have to implement the priorities of my government. But I must say about 80% of my staff is dedicated to consular affairs. We have a community here of about 25,000 Belgians, and they need consular services. So that's our main business. But of course, there are also many bilateral cooperations. Not always easy to follow that up, and very often the embassy is shortcut by the line ministries, and that's normal. Mm-hmm. We are a small staff, we don't need to be involved in every dossier of bilateral cooperation.
Mm-hmm. So you arrived recently. What are your main priorities? If you can make an impact on the relationship, or as an ambassador, I know it's hard to say an impact on Luxembourg, but where do you put your priorities right now?
I don't have to bring new kind of cooperations, mm-hmm. But I have to keep all cooperation alive, and if problems suddenly occur, to discuss with the local authorities and to find solutions. But I must say the bilateral relation between Luxembourg and Belgium is very special, mm-hmm. and I speak of my own experience. You quoted some countries where I was posted in. Unfortunately, most of the time I had no Luxembourgish colleague there, mm-hmm. because Luxembourg had and still has no embassy in those countries. But when we have Luxembourgish colleagues, of course, proximity plays an important role. We immediately come to a very confident relationship. We laugh a lot. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Mm-hmm. And if there are divergent interests, which is very frequent in international relations, it becomes never a tragedy. Mm-hmm. It's natural that countries might have divergent interests. That's part of our life. But life goes on, and then we try to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to remind everyone that the relationship is very strong since 105 years. First, there was a Zollverein from 1842 until 1918, at the end of the First World War. Then there was a referendum in 1919, where Luxembourg overwhelmingly decided to make an alliance with France, but France refused. There was 2 years, I think, where there was some hesitation, and in 1921, the Belgo-Luxembourgish alliance was forged, and it still goes on up to today. So, of course, we can name some Proximus in tech, the financial industry has a lot of very, very strong Belgian companies. There's also a lot. Do you see those economic ties growing? Do you see opportunities? I, for example, AI in mind. Do you see possibilities to work together on that?
I'm not a specialist, but there are certainly possibilities. You spoke about the economic and commercial union agreed between Luxembourg and Belgium in 1921. This is really the precursor of the European Union.
Yes.
If you look at what was agreed at that time, the two countries decided to form a single custom territory with a single commercial policy, with the abolition of internal borders, so freedom of movement, and also a single currency. So it means coordination between the two governments for their economic policy. And when you look at the European Union, we have implemented that, but so many years later. This economic and commercial union was decided by real visionaries. We have Benelux, which is the second important step in the relations between Luxembourg and Belgium. This, to my view, this union must rather be seen as a laboratory for cooperation between three countries, and by this we are showing examples where we anticipate somehow integration, and with the hope, of course, that we will be a little bit later imitated by the other EU member states.
Yeah, and it's true that, again, for people who love history, there was a legacy within that. We remember that after the Vienna Treaty in 1815, there was some instability in the region of Belgium in 1830, which was resolved in 1839. This is where Luxembourg gave away part of the Province de Luxembourg and got its final border. So there is long history between the two countries, and as you said, surely this was a very start for Europe. I give you one example that I have in mind. You know that for AI, you need energy, you need infrastructure, you need chips, you need applications. This is basically what you need to make it happen. Let's start with energy. It's not very well known, but Luxembourg imports 79% of all its electricity, mainly from Germany, a little bit from Belgium. Do you see here some perspective? Is Belgium planning, for example, to boost its energy capacities?
We have plans to rehabilitate our nuclear sector, but we do not have the intention to have a kind of dominant position of nuclear energy in Belgium. We would like to have an energy mix with some nuclear capacities and also green energy. The windmills in the North Sea offer interesting opportunities, not only for ourselves but also with the neighboring countries. There are already cooperations with the Netherlands, I think with Denmark as well. But as far as electricity is concerned, most of the European countries are interconnected. So sometimes we are importing from Germany, sometimes we are exporting. Same with France. There is already some solidarity between the European countries, but the energy prices are very different from one country to another.
Okay.
So it remains a problem. And Luxembourg and Belgium have plans also to extend the connections in the gas and CO2 and also to hydrogen. There are also some plans now. That's very technical and that's maybe a little bit complex.
Surely very strategic for Luxembourg, because unlike Belgium, I mean, you have a lot of wind and you have, I guess, a lot of sun.
And a lot of rain as well.
We do have a nuclear power station nearby. Unfortunately, I don't have the number in mind. People can check it on ALR, Institut Luxembourgeois de la Régulation. I think it's 3%. It's just a symbolic amount coming from France. So for Luxembourg, surely it's a very big stake. I think we also need to look at the context. You've worked also at the European Union. And so for all the talks we have right now about sovereignty, about making Europe strong, the question is it going to be every country trying to be strong, or is it to be regions? And if we talk about the opportunity right now, I know for sure that you have seen that Anthropic is paying more than $1 billion per month to Elon Musk. Google is paying more than $1 billion per month to Elon Musk. There is a huge appetite right now from these people to have their own data centers in Europe. And so I think this is a massive opportunity. You did really well with Google twice or three times already by attracting them near Namur or Mons. But I do believe there's here a massive opportunity for Belgium and Luxembourg to team up again, as you did in 1921 and through the decades, to capture this opportunity and say to those big players, come in the region and we'll solve your electricity, your chip, your security, and your resilience. So maybe here is a new opportunity to make history together again.
That's something our governments have to examine as well as our business community. Of course, artificial intelligence offers a lot of opportunities. For a non-specialist like me, it's difficult to see the outline of such opportunities. There are also risks linked to the development of artificial intelligence. And of course, we must make sure that the development of those new technologies are compatible with decarbonation of our economies. We are committed to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Of course, the politic pressure to achieve that goal has changed because of wars, because of energy prices, etc. But anyway, climate change obliges us to stick on that goal, and so all governments have to find ways and agreements and consensus to reach several goals together.
And there's a last question, of course, if we go one step lower, just regular startups. And Belgium did history with Odoo, which is one of the leading unicorns in Europe. They made really well. They have a lot of users in Luxembourg. We do have also in Luxembourg some really good companies like G-Core, Emma, who are about to become unicorns. So on the startup and just the regular companies, we know we're reaching a time where a lot of business owners are reaching retirement. So do you see here also possibilities for Luxembourg and Belgium to work together to bring back those businesses here after decades of trying to outsource everything to China? Do we have incitation to work together with those real economy players?
Belgium, Netherlands and Luxembourg are three small countries without natural resources, without natural borders. So we have to import, export, transform with maximum added value. These are our common characteristics, and in order to be successful, we must be innovative. And innovation, if you look at how the countries are ranked in the world, the Benelux countries are doing particularly well. They are obliged to do so because it's a question, it's vital for those countries. So our three governments have to make sure, and of course in the case of Belgium, the federated entities too, to make sure that the necessary conditions are there to stimulate and to create incentives to transform startups into successful companies. And having been posted here in Luxembourg for almost 2 years now, I see that Luxembourg is very well organized to encourage the setup of startup companies and then to accompany them to be successful. It doesn't happen always. That's the rule for that type of business, of course. But nevertheless, there are success stories, and that's what we are looking for.
Yes, there's a tendency that we clearly see in Germany and in France as the big countries, the two big brothers of Europe. They tend to come back on their own self-center. And of course, this is a very big incentive for the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg to work together and collectively to stay strong against those two massive brothers. Well, I hope that the relationship between Belgium and Luxembourg will keep on growing after already more than 105 5 years, and I wish you a lot of success in your mission.
Thank
in
you very
Luxembourg.
much, Jerome.
Thank you very much.